Alright, I need you to trust me on this one. The anime on the today's list are kind of shows that completely take over your brain once you start them. Some of are emotional masterpieces, some are pure psychological chaos, and some of are so addictive that you accidentally finish half of the season in one night. And the craziest part, most people barely talk about them. But one thing all of these anime have in common is simple. These are must-watch series that you should absolutely experience at least once, no matter who you are, whether you love action, mind games, dark stories, fantasy wars, or emotional journeys. There is something here and that will hook you insanely. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Number 10. Bofuri. This anime asked one simple question: what if somebody completely broke an MMORPG by accident? Our main character Maple starts playing a VR game just for fun. She knows absolutely nothing about builds, mechanics, or strategy, while everybody else is increasing their speed, attack power, critical damage. Maple puts literally every single stat point into defense, and somehow it works. Her attack power becomes basically useless, but her defense becomes so absurdly broken that nobody in the entire game can even scratch her. Boss monster tanked, poison attacks immune, PvP players completely helpless. The scariest part is how fast she evolves. Every time people think they have figured her out, she unlocks a horrifying new ability that makes her even more unstoppable. At one point, she stops looking like a normal player and starts feeling like an actual raid boss. What makes Bofuri so addictive is the energy. It's chaotic, wholesome, hilarious, and weirdly satisfying watching an innocent girl accidentally terrify an entire gaming community. If you like the Rising of the Shield Leader, there is a very high chance that you will love this one too. Coming in at number 9, we have Easygoing Territory Defense by the Optimistic Lord. This anime takes one of the oldest fantasy truths ever and somehow makes it insanely satisfying again. A man reincarnates into another world, an 8-year-old noble boy, but unlike everybody around him, he still remembers his previous life. Sounds overpowered already, right? Wrong. Because the magic he is born with is called production magic, a skill everybody considers completely useless, so naturally his own family throws him away some forgotten border village like he is trash. But there's a twist: that useless magic lets him craft weapons, tools, equipment far beyond what anybody in this world has ever seen before. Slowly, the abandoned village starts transforming into something powerful. Soldiers want his weapon, kingdoms start paying attention, and some people who mocked him suddenly realize they created a monster by casting him aside. This shows his clear progress in fantasy. Watching the protagonist slowly build power, influence, and territory from absolute nothing is ridiculously satisfying, and honestly, those are sometimes the most addictive anime of all. Number 8. The Ramparts of Ice. Okay, this one hits differently. Most anime on this list are intense or chaotic. This one is quite emotional, the kind of story that slowly sneaks up to you. The anime follows Koyuki, a girl who completely isolates herself after something painful happened in her past. She avoids people, barely talks at school, and keeps everyone at a distance because she believes being alone is safer than getting hurt again. At school, people can call her the Ice Queen, but then she meets Minato, and little by little her world starts changing. What makes this anime special isn't crazy action or giant plot twist, it's how real the emotions feel, the awkward conversations, the slow trust building, the feeling of finally finding people who genuinely understand you. This is one of those anime that reminds you how important real friendships are, and by the end of it, you realize the story was never about loneliness, it was about learning how to let people back into your life. Number 7. Liar Game. This show is psychological warfare disguised as entertainment. If you like Squid Game or Alice in Borderland, you will need to watch this. The story follows Nao Kanzaki, a girl so honest and trusting that she literally cannot imagine somebody betraying her, which makes her the absolute worst possible person to get dragged into the liar game. One day, she receives a mysterious box containing 100 million yen, an invitation to a secret competition where the rules are terrifyingly simple: lie, manipulate, steal, betray. The winner becomes insanely rich, the loser ends up drowning in impossible debt, and because Now trusts people too easily, she gets destroyed almost immediately. But that's where the show gets dangerous, because from that point onward, every single game becomes a psychological battlefield. Alliances collapse, people manipulate each other emotionally, entire strategies get flipped upside down in seconds. The mind game in this series are absolutely insane. Every episode feels like watching human intelligence weaponized against itself, and just when you think you have figured everything out, the shows pull the rug out of the under you again. Real quick, if you're enjoying the list so far, hit that like button. Seriously, it helps the channel more than you think. Alright, move on. Coming it at number 6, we have 2B Hero X. Yeah, technically this one is a donghua instead of an anime, but trust me, this show absolutely deserves a spot here because visually this thing is insane. The world of 2B Hero X offers a terrifying concept. A hero power depends on public belief and popularity. The more people believe in you, the stronger you become, which means fame literally equals power. Heroes are ranked like celebrities and standing at the very top in a mysterious figure known as X, the strongest hero alive, a being so powerful that nobody fully understands what he's been capable of. But underneath all the flashy fights and insane animation is a much darker question: what actually makes somebody a hero? The original 2B Hero was mostly comedy and absurd humor, but 2B Hero X feels completely different, darker, more serious, more emotionally intense. And once the story starts revealing what's really happening behind the hero rankings, your brain genuinely starts melting a little. This show does not just look stylish, it feels unpredictable. Number 5, I Am Standing on a Million Lives. This anime takes the typical isekai formula and twists it into something way darker than you expect. The protagonist Yusuke isn't some heroic chosen one. He is cold, antisocial, emotionally disconnected, and honestly kind of hates humanity. He spends most of his time gaming and avoiding people completely. Then one day he and two classmates suddenly get teleported into a mysterious game-like world. There they meet a bizarre faceless creature calling itself Game Master, and from that moment onward their lives became a series of deadly quests with strict time limit. Clear the missions and they get a chance to return their home. Fail and they die in real life too. But that makes the anime interesting in this protagonist himself. Yusuke doesn't think like a hero. He approaches everything logically, almost mechanically, which creates simultaneous that feels way more morally great than your average fantasy anime. Sometimes you genuinely don't know whether to root for him or to be scared of him. And there's the tension makes the show ridiculously bingeable. Number 4, Doro. His own father sold his body to demons at birth. Now he is hunting every single one of them to take it back. Yeah, this anime is that insane. Doro is one of the most emotional revenge journey anime you can binge from the start to finish. The story follows Hyakimaru, a boy whose father sacrifices his body parts to demons in exchange for power, land, and prosperity. He is born without limbs, skin, eyes, ears, basically stripped of almost everything that makes him human, but somehow he survives using prosthetic limbs and pure willpower. Yakimaru grows into a terrifying samurai warrior who wanders across war-torn Japan hunting demons one by one alongside a young thief named Dororo. And there is what makes the show so addictive. Every demon he kills restores another piece of his body, and one fight gives him hearing, another gives him sight, another lets him finally feel the pain of the first time. So every battle feels meaningful because their rewards are deeply personal. But the deeper story becomes way more emotional than just revenge, because every body part he regains slowly makes him more human, while the world around him keeps showing him the cruel humanity can actually be. At insane samurai fights, emotional tragedy, dark folklore, and morally grey conflicts, and you will get an anime that's genuinely hard to stop watching once you start. Coming at number 3, we have Jack of all trades, master of none. Imagine living in a world where nobody specializes in one thing. One person becomes a gold tier swordsman, another becomes a legendary mage. Everybody has a clear talent except you. You are average at everything, master of nothing. That's the reality these protagonists grow up with. He constantly gets compared to people better than him, judged by society, treated like he lacks real talent. But slowly he realizes that something terrifying. Specialized dominate one situation, adaptable people survive all situations. While everybody else depends on one skill, he can improvise, evolve, adjust no matter what happens. What once looked like his weakness slowly becomes his greatest advantage. This anime has incredibly strong world building. The deeper you get into the story, the more political tension, hidden conflicts, and power struggles starts revealing themselves beneath the surface. And before you realize it, you're completely hooked. Number 2, Terror in Resonance. This anime doesn't just entertain you, it stays in your head afterward. The story begins in Tokyo after a massive terrorist attack suddenly rocks the entire city. The people responsible, two teenage boys calling themselves Phoenix, but here's what makes them terrifying. Before every attack, they upload cryptic riddles online challenging the police to stop them. solve the puzzle in time and the bomb won't explode. Fail and disaster happens. At first, it feels like a high-stakes crime thriller. Then the deeper the truth starts unfolding, and suddenly you realize this story isn't really about terrorism at all. It's about trauma, isolation, government secrets, broken children turned into weapons by a cruel system. The soundtrack by Yoko Kanno makes everything feel hauntingly beautiful, and the atmosphere becomes heavier with every episode. This is one of those rare anime where even silence feels emotional, and trust me on this, when you reach the ending, prepare not yourself mentally, because these shows does not leave you emotionally untouched. And finally, number 1, Demons of the Shadow Realm. This right here might become one of the biggest hidden gems in modern anime. The story takes place in a world where mysterious shadow beings and demons exist alongside humans. Our protagonist Yuru lives peacefully with his twin sister Asa, but something about their existence feels wrong from the very beginning. And the deeper the story goes, the stranger everything becomes. Now here's the part that should immediately get your attention. This manga was created by Himuro Arakawa, the same legendary creator behind the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Yeah, that alone should tell you how insane these series could become. This anime is relatively new, so there are still tons of mysteries surrounding the world and the shadows and the true nature of the twins, but honestly the mystery is exactly what makes it so addictive. Every episode feels like there's something bigger hiding underneath the surface, some secret waiting to explode, and once you hit the final moments of the first major arc, everything changes. Suddenly you understand why so many manga readers were hyping this story up for years. This anime has the rare feeling where you know it's building towards something massive. And that's the list. These are top 10 must-watch anime that deserve way more attention that they got, from psychological mind games and survival thrillers to emotional stories and absolute chaos. There's probably at least one of the anime here that about to destroy your sleep schedule. So tell me in the comments which one are you watching first, and if you enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe for more anime recommendation videos, hidden gems, upcoming anime news, and insane anime stories just like this. If you want to know more about videos like this, check out the video on the left for more hidden anime gems, and on the right side best upcoming fantasy anime that you should absolutely keep an eye on. And I will see you in the next one.